Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the 19th of August. The attention of the country is now focusing to the Supreme Court. And for better part of this week, the conversation has been centered around the four commissioners, and it is so unfortunate that when they first made the first press conference and said the elections were, the verification process was opaque, I didn't feel good that even mainstream media will carry those headlines and do stories saying opaque commissioners. I think that to me is a bit of being extreme in terms of profiling, and it's actually demystifying the seriousness of those commissioners. People really, I think the media really need to do better than that. Now, there have been the issue about the arithmetic, about the 0.01%. I have kept off that conversation. I know many people have been asking me about it. I've kept off that. But then, because I have been feeling like the real focus, people are not focusing on the real issue. Raila is going to Supreme Court. And I have said more than once in my analysis in this channel that unlike in 2017 and 2013, the 2022 Supreme Court evidence should be focusing on the numbers. And that's why Mutahi Ngunyu was saying that the math is not mathing. It is upon Supreme Court to find out is the math mathing, because there are two sides to it. People are really obsessed by analyzing Chebukati's numbers, what Chebukati said, what is in the portal. But I want to say that today, I think for the last 2 days, I have been having some informal talks with a data analyst. And there is something I just wanted to know. Guys, what is the security of data? Like even me, I can have database in my audience, make a spreadsheet and I'm keeping somewhere. It's just as simple as what is the security of the IBC system? What are the security structures? Yenye, mtu aki-upload the form 34A or form 34B, it's secure. Because the rigging narrative, or rather the rigging issue, is being centered on forms uploaded, either edited or removed or re-uploaded. The other phase is that the number of votes, there are two sides to it. There is also what probably was done at the system. And secondly, there is what was done in ground. And that is why at Bomas of Kenya, there were scenes of drama. Now, I don't want to get to that. So I want to point out something. My data analyst, Mr. Duke, mentioned something to me, that the country should be asking how IBC built the data architecture. Because a safe data architecture must have the security. Remember, and he was making this clear to me, that this is not starting at the process of the Form 34As or 34Bs. No. This is something that starts as earlier as at some point, at even the database, the register database was hacked. And there was some mysterious transfer of people from one polling station to the other. You remember? So he was telling me an example of that one. People will investigate, and then you just ask yourself, what is the security of data? Because the Form 34A and 34Bs that are being uploaded there. So who knows that perhaps even forms were already there? Who knows that forms of some polling stations were already there? And so whatever was being done was just a formality. So there is a lot of it now. There are issues that I wanted to look at. how do you measure the integrity of the uploaded form? Because this is an area that I think people have not really explored. I've been following analysts and the mainstream and the lawyers that are going to the mainstream media and speaking big English. And most of them are just there to impress their masters, just trying to impress the party leader or antagonize supporters of candidate X so that you can get airtime. And media is in a business. So if you can talk ill about Raila and people support to talk and watch that, then you will get airtime. There is one lawyer that roams in almost all the TV stations. Now, there is something that you'll realize. How do you measure the integrity of that? And he mentioned something to me called the timestamp of any document. That when you upload document, just like even me, I use my camera. Nikimaliza kushoot this video, if I take that memory card na niweke kwa my laptop, itanionyesha time nilishoot. Itanionyesha that you shot that video at 21:04 at 18. It will show. Now, in IBC, every form 34B or 34A, not 34B, every form 34A that is uploaded must actually have that time frame now. That time frame will be very important to know what was removed, what was replaced, what was edited. Now, that is what is used to track and trace the path of a data. Hey, Kai, hii ilikuwa technical, but I hope tutaelewana. I'm just trying to break it down. This is a whole 30 minutes discussing about this. The time frame, the time stamp helps to track and trace, because the point here is the integrity of the form 34A, because that is the form in question. By the way, people need to understand the form 34A is that polling station form, and probably tomorrow, some other day, we will try to look at that. Form 34B is produced from 34A. So the primary document is Form 34A. So what is the integrity of that form? Number two is you just need to understand the logs. And in terms of logs, who interacted with the system and from where and when. Because that will help you understand whether there are also foreign users or people who are not assigned to. You will simply ask Chebukati, okay, this data or this system is supposed to be operated by XYZ. So why did person X in some other place maybe reach out to this? Because if there was any hacking or infiltration of that system, it cannot be done within the premises of IBC. This is someone seated somewhere else, maybe with super access, and just finding how it goes. And I happen to understand that the login is both on the front end and the back end. The front end is where you use those credentials, but the back end can be accessed by a super admin who can have the access and he can do anything there. So guys, that is just a bit. It's a bit technical part, but I just wanted to put it there. Hold it a bit. We'll try to, I'll still get my data analyst maybe someday, probably on Sunday. We will revisit that. And in the light of that, I wanted us to look at a tweet by Miguna. And this tweet touches on this Supreme Court verdict. Now, he's sharing this tweet saying, a recount, if ordered, will only help the Supreme Court to determine whether or not there are discrepancies with the tallies that could have altered the results as announced by Wafula Chebukati. If so, the court would nullify the results and order fresh elections, not declare a winner. So if court orders fresh elections, what happens? So I want to ask, I know we have very good lawyers who are watching this channel, who are subscribers of this channel. Just make us understand a simple question. Do the Supreme Court have the jurisdiction? I don't know if I'm using the right word. Do they have powers to announce the winner if they peruse the results or they do the math and they realize that the math is mathing on a candidate, because that is what has been the dominant narrative, that President Uhuru Kenyatta wants Supreme Court to announce Raila Odinga president-elect if they find out that his win was snatched. I think that will be good. But let me tell you, I like the angle that Supreme Court case is taking. I am so happy for that. That angle is very good for one reason. There is a cabal of leaders or bloggers. I don't want to. Okay, there is a cabal that have been preaching some 2 words, 3 words: concede, move on. And that group that have been telling Raila to concede and move on are the group that are fatigued. The group that they don't, they've been swallowed by the whole thing of the word president-elect. And when people hear president-elect, they say, okay, fine, this is the end of it. We are now getting to the next regime. So, that angle, that when someone who supports Raila listens that, okay, there is a debate on whether Supreme Court can declare President Raila Odinga win or not, it's something that rejuvenates, it gives them hope, it gives them, someone have a feeling, okay, we need to relook at it. Because I know, I can tell you, there are people who had given up and they're like, oh, we don't want, this is done. This is the most interesting part of it. While Raila Odinga and the Azimio team are vouching for a recount and a retally so that the votes are given to the ultimate winner, William Ruto on the other side is actually, if you look at the way his lawyers are talking, they want a fresh elections. And someone should help us identify between a rerun and a fresh elections. Because as things stand now, I don't even see the commission that can stand in for a rerun. I don't see. The 4 commissioners are against Chebukati. There is no synergy in that commission. People are not talking from the same script. They cannot deliver unless something happens. So what do you think? Well, Raila believes that his victory was snatched, and what he really wants is justice from the court. So guys, there is both sides of it. And Raila believes that if there is a recount, and I just want to ask a honest question, why are we going to recount? Can we go to a recount just to find out where there are anomalies between what Chebukati announced and what is in the ballot papers? And who is going to stand in for that recount? If we do a recount and you find out somewhere win, why don't you just give the person the win so that they can't move forward? And if it is just finding out there is a problem, you can use the evidence you're given, then you nullify the elections and you call a fresh election. It should be as easy as that. And I know it's not as easy as I'm saying it. Now, guys, I want to explain for you what is complicating the whole issue about retally and recount for William Samoei Ruto. That's not something he will take. And I can take that to bank. If Supreme Court says we are going to recount or retally, they will not accept. Kenya Kwanza will not accept. You might blame them. They will not accept that, something like that. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. I want to still reach out. I'm going to give a report about Sarah's fundraiser tomorrow. And I can still urge you, we are still in the process. I know we have not yet completed. You can still share your contribution through directly my number or Sarah 0710 62 78 89. 0710 62 78 89. This is the last video of the 21 days challenge. So after I give account of what we had gathered, we shall get way forward. Now, Chebukati, who is a point man, Ruto's point man, might be ordered out of office. If there is a recount and Supreme Court have found anomalies, because the custodian of the results was Wafula Chebukati, any other thing that will be done by the commission, Wafula Chebukati will not be part of it. And so because he's not part of it, he's in that commission. I see him as the only person that William Ruto trusted. Out of the 7, it is Wafula Chebukati and the other 2, the CEO and the other commissioner, maybe the other 2 commissioners, but then the other 4 are on the other side of Raila Odinga or of Azimio la Umoja. So that shows you that Ruto will not want, because Chebukati, if Chebukati supported him in August 9th, then Chebukati will not be part of anything. Number 2, a recount would produce evidence on other elective seats in Mount Kenya. Let me tell you, if there is something that has energized Raila Odinga's Supreme Court move, is the push by Central Kenya team that they were rigged out. I saw a team in Kiambu, also Kabando Nyeri was also complaining about the same. And that recount would be used by them. If you've been keen to realize that Raila Odinga's close confidants of the Utende Molo, the Rengos, the MPs, they are making a lot of push in social media. But the people who are coming out and saying we want to go to Supreme Court are actually Mount Kenya, because they're so angry. They believe that rigging was done for the presidential and they were also affected. So they will not want to go there. They would rather say we go for a rerun or another fresh election. A retally can also be taken charge by a military. And it's by military, who is the commanding chief of the defense forces? President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So do you think William Ruto will feel comfortable? The answer is no. Any finding against Chebukati results will vilify William Ruto as a man who manipulated the polls. I can tell you that. So if you go for a recount and the recount is showing something different, it is not only Chebukati that will be on the receiving end, but it will also vilify William Ruto. That will injure him if he's supposed to head for any fresh election or arena. And that's why I can tell you that it's an interesting match to watch in Supreme Court. Let's meet in the next.